In this video, I'm going to explain to you as simply as possible what XP is on Sorare, how it affects cards, and how you get it. Every Sorare card is exposed to XP of some type, so no matter if you're playing with commons, limiteds, rares, super rares, or uniques, you need to be up to speed with exactly what XP is, how it affects the game, and how you make sure your cards have got as much of it as absolutely possible. Because what XP does and what the bonus does is it makes your card score more fantasy points than any other card holder of that same player. With there being hundreds of thousands of players and different card types available, the XP is what separates the leaderboard. It's what separates the winners and the losers on a lot of occasions, and it can make the difference between finishing out with an okay game week or something much more spectacular. And it can be your way of making up an edge on the leaderboard. If your player is not as good as maybe your competitors out there, but they've got a lot of XP on their side, then a guy that scores 58 could now be as handy on the leaderboard as the guy next to him that scored 62, which might not sound like a lot because XP doesn't make that much of a difference on the actual points that hit the leaderboard, but it can make all the difference in separating the places out there and just making sure that when your team does go off, when your team does hit, you go as far as possible up that leaderboard and you shoot as high as you possibly can in the reward pool. Now, if you are new to Sorare and you haven't even opened up your account yet, there's a link in the description of this video. They'll get you a free limited card once you've bought 5 from the market. It's the best way to sign up to start playing Sorare because you get that free card. It's the way that everyone does sign up. Once you get that free card, you can keep it, you can sell it, you can do whatever you want with it. By clicking on that link directly, signing up straight away, you support all the content here at the channel, and I really do thank you in advance if you do so. I couldn't do all of this without your support. If you do get stuck or if you've got any questions, just jump into the comment section of the video and I'll come and help you out. At any point in the video, if you do laugh, you learn, you like something or whatever, please do like and subscribe to the channel. We're pushing to get to 10,000 subscribers before the new European season, and let's just get stuck straight into it. Now, there's a few parts of XP we can kind of put to one side straight away because strictly speaking, they're not XP. They're just different multipliers that look in the game just like XP looks. The first one is season bonus. Now, whenever you acquire a card, whether it be from another manager, as a reward, or from the auctions, which we call the primary market, if it is in the current season that we are playing in, so it's a card of the current season, the current version, the latest edition of whatever player it is we're talking about, then they carry a 5% XP boost, and it's called season bonus. And you can see there it's marked for the season in question, and it is a flat 5%. This goes on to rares, limiteds, super rares, uniques, all the NFT cards, all the ones you would actually buy and own. Now, your cards will lose this bonus the second that player gets a new season issue. If they don't get a new season issue, let's imagine they leave their club, they transfer somewhere else that doesn't get Sorare cards, or even if they do, maybe they miss picture day because of when the transfer happened in the window potentially, then they'll keep their season bonus for a maximum of one further season. So sometimes those guys that transfer into a club that isn't actually going to get cards next season is a nice little differential strategy that a lot of players in the Russian Premier League took huge advantage of last season. We've seen it with Liverpool the year before that, and let's see who makes good on it this year. The second one, which looks kind of feels like XP, is the scarcity bonus. Now, the scarcity bonus is maybe going to be a little bit confusing the first time you come on site because there's nothing completely obviously separating a lot of these things, okay? Now, I've tried to line them up as best as I possibly can, but we've got very low level, rare, limited, and super rare cards here. Now, they're all on level 0 or 1 or something like that. So their actual XP, which we've not even spoken about yet, isn't really factored into this. Now, both the rare and the limited here and the super rare do have a 5% season bonus on them. So if we remove all of that, the rare has 0 and the limited has 0. These cards don't cross over in competitions where XP comes into the calculations for the scoring. So at the moment, and I do stress at the moment because I wouldn't be surprised if something happened with this in the future, but at the moment, because these scarcity of cards, limiteds, the golds, and rares, the reds, you get 1,000 limiteds a season of every player, and you get 100 rares of every season of every player. They don't cross over. So there's no real scarcity bonus that defines each of them individually apart from one another yet, but do watch out for that. Previously, when you used to be able to play the scarcity below rares with rares, it was only commons, and the commons would have a 50%, you would only get 50% of their score. And with XP, which we'll explain in a moment, you could get that up to 60% of their score, which was nice if you could level the cards up. I could see something like that coming back into effect if we ever had a lot more divisions where rares and limiteds crossed over, because I think adding a scarcity bonus to rare would muddy the waters a bit too much. Now, what is a scarcity bonus? I've not even told you that yet. It mainly applies to the super rares, which, as you'll see here, once I move myself out of the way, the scarcity bonus for a super rare is 20%. So super rares don't compete against limiteds, they only really compete against rares, other super rares, or uniques, which we'll talk about in a second quickly. So that scarcity bonus is what particularly powers up a super rare in the competitions where they also feature alongside rare cards, because they're 20% more powerful. So if your guy scores 60 points, they are going to actually score 72 with the super rare bonus, never mind the other stuff that's there. And that is on the card for life. So every super rare will be 20% stronger than a rare, and uniques carry a scarcity bonus of 40%. Now, uniques only really compete against super rares for the most part, as well as other uniques, so you don't really find them against rares and limiteds, which again, the reason that maybe they don't have a defined scarcity bonus yet is why that's unturned. But yeah, these things are for life. You get them with the card, and then any divisions where they cross over, you're more powerful than the one below it. So I buy, Quinny, I buy this Callum McGregor unique to play against divisions where I can play one unique with a bunch of super rares, because he is just as powerful as an extra captain. The captain bonus in a lot of divisions is 20%, sometimes it's 50%, it just varies, but that's just my mind, how I think about my team construction when these different scarcities come into it, because the different powers that they offer, their score wildly changes their makeup. Like I mentioned already, a guy that averages in the high 50s can deliver the same sort of output on the leaderboard as someone else who is a low 60 average, if you get a lot of these things falling in the right place for the particular cards you're looking at. We've looked at scarcity bonuses, they're permanent. We've looked at the season bonus, that's not permanent, but you get it for, you know, a good length of time. The third non-XP boost that we need to talk about before we can explain XP real quickly is brand new to the platform, and that is the collection bonus. Now, this is permanent for as long as you hold the cards. On the collections tab on your page, you can see your overview of how all your collections are sitting and follow their progress for what cards you've got, and how much of a bonus every one of the cards highlighted on the screen here. So if I was to own 3 Rogic's, only one would show. Only one would get the bonus, and you get that for having the collection of the cards. This is permanent for as long as the collection is in the condition to meet the requirements for the progress bar here at the top of the screen. This can be as little as 0 and can be as high as 5%. A nice little hack for you is any card that you acquire as a first owner, whether you buy that from auction, you cannot buy this from the secondary market from another manager, so you need to buy it from auction, or if you win a guy as a reward, you're the first owner, okay? Any one of those cards, they will always get 40 collection points if you don't list them on the market. And that means those cards always give you a 1% bonus forever. And maybe you can string a few of them up and get it to 2%, 3%. You can see what happens here. So the collection bonus can add on an additional 5% to a score. The season bonus will add on 5% to a score in the divisions where these scores are applied. And super rares and uniques have got scarcity bonuses over the rares, and I suppose the limiteds as well. Now, for common cards, for limiteds, for rares, for uniques, for super rares, for all of them, they all work on XP as well. And I can hear you shouting at your phone right now. Quinny, going to just tell me already what is actual XP on Sorare? I'm so confused right now. You've told me about these other things that look like what I thought XP was, but they're not really XP, but I understand what you mean now. Going to tell me what is actual XP. So every card works on a level of between 0 and 20. And depending on how many XP points they get, they go up the levels. Now, from every level that they go up on the multipliers that we've looked at, it goes from 0% all the way up to 10%. Now, you can do the maths. 10% over 20 levels is 0.5 per level. You get XP really from 3 places, but it's kind of all the same thing. The first one and the main one is by playing your cards in fantasy competition, and then their score that they get on the leaderboard is calculated into XP. I'll link the article in the description in case you want to read the little formula for yourself. But the more points they score, the more the XP they get, the quicker they level up, the more powerful they get, and subsequently then the more powerful they are on the leaderboard for you. The second place is Academy, or it used to be called Training. But in the Academy, you get base XP times 3. So you can supercharge your cards by putting them into the Academy teams free of charge. If you want to buy more Academy teams, I currently, for my club, have 5 training teams out on a weekly basis. And if you want to go and add them into your club, you simply click on your coin wallet over here, which takes you to the shop, and you can see like signed merch, all the level boosts that are here as well. And then you can also see somewhere down here, training expansion teams. Now I'm up to the 4th and 5th ones, which are quite expensive, but you can submit the cards that you believe that are going to make the biggest difference for your club in the coming game weeks, in the upcoming season, into the academy, and then they will power up quicker. Now, once you're able to field 3 academy teams, or everyone in your club will just get 75% XP points anyway. So by submitting 3 academy teams, you actually make sure your whole club is actually doing some sort of training and doing some sort of level up. But the guys that are in those academy teams, as many of them as you want to unlock for your club, they will get supercharged. They will get boosted much, much faster. Now, Sorare did a really neat change recently where they actually made this training mode. They named it the Academy. They kind of redeveloped it, and they actually put a prize pool on it. So people actually take this game mode semi-seriously when they're building their club, because you can just put you can put commons and rares. I don't think you can put commons actually, but you can put any other scarcities in here and mix them up together. And hey, if you can get up to the top $200, $300, $500 there for the podium, and if you get into the top 500, there's $5 up for grabs, which is something to play in the game if nothing else, and that is nothing to be sniffed at. And in the 3rd and final place we can get XP from is the club shop. As we've just seen here, we can come in here and buy level ups. We can actually power the card up. You're limited to buying these, and it goes on a little timer every 3 days, okay? And that's for every scarcity. The different scarcities, the level power-ups cost different amounts of these soul coins. These soul coins, you earn them from submitting teams. So that's all you need to do is just play the game. It's not a real currency. You can't buy them or anything like that. It's just like in-game funny money. So the more of that stuff you get, you can unlock jerseys with it, as we've mentioned. You probably know that already. But you can also buy these boosts and level them up. You can target a player that you think is going to be your main guy, and you can just spend coins on them and level them up as quick as you want, if you desire. Now, I'll finish on this final detail of the commons, okay, because I do feel that this was very understated in the actual drafts that we go into. Now, last game week, I thought I was going to be on for a card again. Sadly, I was not, but even now, at this stage of the game, I've got some prominent cards, for example, in this MLS setup, and because I've not traded out the goalkeeper, my Almada, and I've not traded out Acosta for so long. See, when I go to draft this team now, even with my commons, I've got Berkey on 4.5% as a multiplier. So against every other common Berkey, which there will be hundreds and thousands of, mine is distinctly much more powerful than every other one, because I drafted this on day 1. I've kept it for the season, the whole season. Mine, in theory, should be the most powerful, if not in amongst it, you know, top 5% or so at least anyway. As you can see with some other commons I've got here for these draft modes, it's not quite as prominent. There's Almada, 4.5%. I like the common modes for scouting players and just like getting to know some guys or trying to get a bit more familiar with some situations that have interested me, but I've not really had the time to explore. I've not had the money to go and buy a proper card of. But it's something I really noticed, and it's something that I will exploit personally on the channel in content. You'll see me doing it for the common drafts for this season, because I think the guys you lock in on those common drafts can make a difference really quickly. And the prize pool for them last year wasn't amazing. It might get a little bit better, but it's a fun game mode to tap into. And for all the beginners and for all you guys that are getting started out, everyone else who's like passively playing commons, it's a super easy edge to get on the field. And I recommend, if you are starting out on a budget, you're mainly playing with commons and limiteds, really do look at the XP element that comes into it with your commons in particular, and think about a bit more carefully who you draft out, because when you draft a guy out, even if you bring him back, they're at 0. So that's some fun strategy and decision making. I think goalkeeper is maybe an easy one. We'll just keep Berkey for the season and we'll ride on that. So that's worked out well. I hope you've enjoyed this one, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share and retweet and all that good stuff. On screen there now is some other stuff that I've made that YouTube thinks you might enjoy. Stay out of trouble, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.